everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. So I'm making this video follow up to my last video where people pointed out how Karl Larsen recently took pictures of Harry and Meghan when they were out and about. They just decided to suddenly come out, and it was Karl Larsen. And of course, Larsen has made a YouTube channel with Thomas Markle, and apparently was there when Thomas Markle had a stroke. So that was in May to last year, May 2022. This article came out in Us talking about on May 24th, Thomas, 77, was rushed to the hospital with a stroke. He was photographed receiving paramedic attention with an oxygen mask. Thomas was then transported to Tijuana, Mexico, to a hospital in Chula Vista, California. Karl Larsen, who co-hosts Remarkable Friendship with Thomas on YouTube, exclusively tells us that the former lighting director, quote, lost his voice before eventually being picked up in an ambulance. Quote, he couldn't talk, then he wrote down that he lost his voice. So obviously Karl was there, right? There's no doubt about it. He was right there. He's talking about Thomas Markle losing his voice and then having to call an ambulance, which I assume Karl did, as if Thomas lost his voice, right? So the celebrity photographer, 53 years old, Karl Larsen, revealed to us about the health scare, quote, a neighbor rushed him to Rosarito Hospital, and then he was transferred to a hospital in Chula Vista across the border. This was last night. The neighbor was with him. Thomas, who has frequently discussed his strained relationship with Meghan to the press, much to her disappointment, previously missed the Suits alums, wedding. Okay, he missed the May 2018 wedding when he had a heart attack. They say he claimed he had a heart attack and required surgery. After staging Us is writing that he staged paparazzi photos just days before the Sussexes exchanged vows. So this I'm not clear about, because somewhere else I read that the photographs, the staged photographs, were taken in March before. So I don't know which one's true. Was it days before, or was it the March before the wedding that Thomas posed for staged pictures? Yeah, so now we can go back to, now some people were saying that it was Karl Larsen, who works for Jeff Rayner, or who at the time worked for him before suing him. Jeff Rayner is the name on the photographs of the staged paparazzi pictures. Let me just go back 1 second here. I didn't look at there is a picture of Thomas after his stroke up here. Let me see if this has the picture. So in 2021, Thomas sent Meghan flowers, I guess. Flowers for the flower. Venus flytrap. That was nice of him. Now, I don't have the picture of him with the stroke. But we know Karl Larsen was there when Thomas Markle had the stroke. That's documented. It's without a doubt. Now, what I find suspicious, one thing I find suspicious, I did a search here, and there's an article here. Thomas Markle, former friend, reveals surprising behind the scenes. But when you click on it, the article gone. It's completely gone. They took it down. And I'm like, why would they take that down? And I can't find it in Internet Archive or anywhere else where they normally archive websites. They totally scrubbed this article. So I'm wondering, why did they scrub this article? And does anybody have any screenshots of it? It's MSN Lifestyle Buzz, where it says Karl Larsen revealed behind the scenes of what happened when Thomas Markle had a stroke. So that was completely scrubbed, interestingly. I don't know, it might not be anything suspicious, but it's not very often you see an article like that, especially the mainstream media, get totally scrubbed off like that, just, So yeah, so I'm wondering about that. So Karl Larsen was definitely there when Thomas Markle had the stroke. Now, going back to the heart attack. So when the story broke on May 12th, 2018, royal wedding Meghan father stage photos, just like Meghan does. They have a video here which clearly shows that it was, to me, I think it must be Jeff Rayner took the pictures because they have video of the photographer here. I don't know if you can see this, if that's too big. Oops, let me make this bigger there. How about that? So it was a British photography, Jeff Rayner is a British base. So there he is. So there's the photographer. That's not Karl Larsen. They got more of a close-up of his face coming up. So it's photographer Jeff Rayner. So Jeff Rayner, who Karl Larsen works for at the time, worked for him, was the one who took the initial pictures of Thomas Markle. So, so let's see this again. And they're going to show his face again. So there's Jeff Rayner there. They got him on video. See, there's his face. That's not Karl Larsen. That's definitely Jeff Rayner. I assume Jeff Rayner. I don't know what Jeff Rayner looks like, but I assume I can't pause it. So, but this is on Daily Mail. You can look it up. And it says, you see above, it says March 2018. So these were taken in March, not days before the wedding. It was published days before the wedding. You see, there's the photographer again. Yeah, it definitely doesn't look like Karl Larsen, so it must be Jeff Rayner. So it's definitely Jeff Rayner who took the pictures before the heart attack. And this was in March before the heart attack. So Thomas Markle had the heart attack in May. So we can't really blame the photographer for this one. But the stress of the picture, now the pictures were published in May, days before the wedding. So that could have stressed Thomas Markle out to have a heart attack. So now then again, let's say hypothetically speaking, just an idea throwing out there, I'm not a big, I'm into true crime, but I'm not a big trying to Agatha Christie type fan trying to figure out. But let's say hypothetically Jeff Rayner and Karl Larsen, who worked for Jeff Rayner at the time, they were hired by Meghan to put a hit on her dad. And he went and took pictures in March. There are, poisons and whatnot that could have a delayed reaction, perhaps. Or else they could have just done it to stress him out, knowing that at his age, the stress of the publicity of the pictures could have stressed him to a heart attack, right? So, I mean, he's an elderly man. He's old. He's overweight. Got a health condition. It wouldn't take much to push him over the edge, to stress him out. And then I found this interesting. So Jeff Rayner takes the pictures, the stage pictures in 2018. And then his former employee, Karl Larsen, few years later, starts a YouTube channel, just suddenly decides he wants to team up and be on YouTube with Thomas Markle. And then while he's making a videos, apparently while he's with Karl Larsen was with Thomas Markle when Thomas Markle had a stroke. And I find it interesting that it was right before the Jubilee, or the year before the Jubilee, that Karl Larsen sidles up to Thomas Markle, because everybody knew that Thomas Markle would probably go to the Jubilee, right? Be invited by the Queen. And then I came across this short video, a clip of Lady Colin Campbell. I'm just going to play real quick.
I crossed swords with Karl Larsen last year when I was having, if you recall, I was going to be hosting Thomas Markle.
Yes.
And Karl Larsen tried to wangle his way in, if you remember. I mean, the man can't be trusted, and anything he says is suspect. And, Harry and Meghan's marriage is in trouble. They're in big trouble. And as soon as money problems come into the room, you can...
Okay, so Lady Colleen, so this was leading up. So Karl Larsen and Thomas Markle are making their YouTube channel video together. They've now split up, and Karl Larsen has turned on Thomas Markle. Again, an elderly man who's easy to take advantage of, right? And this was right leading up to the Jubilee. So Karl Larsen knew that Thomas Markle would be going to the Jubilee. So Karl Larsen tried to get himself invited to the Jubilee with Thomas Markle. Right. So potentially Karl Larsen, if he was working for Meghan and Harry and Doria, Perhaps he was trying to get the inside track with Thomas Markle by latching on to Thomas Markle, and then he would give information, feed information to Meghan and Harry about what's going on with the Jubilee and what's going on behind the scenes, what people are saying about him, right? Because if Thomas Markle went to the Jubilee, he was going to meet all the enemies of Meghan and Harry, and then Meghan and Harry would find out exactly who's saying what about them. But Lady Colin Campbell's no dummy, and she was like, Karl Larsen cannot be trusted. She did not invite him. This is about Boozy. I was going to show something about Boozy, but I'll save that for later. Um, well, yeah. So all very suspicious. So first, it's Jeffrey Rayner with Thomas Markle when he has before he has a heart attack. I'm not saying, but we gotta look into this. I want to look into, even though Jeff Rayner took these pictures in the March before, his employee at the time, Karl Larsen, was with Thomas Markle at the time he had the stroke. So that to me, all this together, it seems like after dealing with this Jeffrey Rayner and his employees, Thomas Markle has these health crises suddenly um, erupt. So I'm wondering, what's going on here? Is there something going on here? Is there something we should be concerned with? And again, it's for entertainment purposes only, but I want to look into since Karl Larsen was there and had the inside intel to talk to Us Magazine and everywhere else about what happened and describing exactly what happened to Thomas Markle when he had the stroke, how he couldn't talk and he wrote down he lost his voice, and then they called the ambulance. And then he had a neighbor rushed him. So why did a neighbor rush him to the hospital? Why didn't Karl Larsen rush him to the hospital if he was right there? Now, of course, he's not saying he was right there. Maybe he got the information from the neighbor. Possible. But he was making videos with Thomas Markle. So if he wasn't there at the exact time, he was there recently, right? So he knows all the exact details of what happened, losing his voice and the neighbor taking him there. So the fact that he knows all these details seems to give the idea that he was there. So let's take a look at this. Did Karl Larsen have anything to do with this? The stroke here. I mean, whether it's a hit by Megan and Doria, and I'm gonna look at their influence, or is it just, maybe it's just he's just bad timing. I mean, and Thomas Markle is a very elderly, sick, overweight man. And yeah, so who knows? Well, let's see. Let's find out. I'm going to use the Gilded Tarot. Yeah, take a look and see, is there anything more to the story that the cards will show? Let's find out. Just interesting that, Jeff Rayner and Karl Larsen work together and they both happen to be there when Thomas Markle has these health crises that almost kill him, because strokes and heart attacks can normally kill you, right? Anyways, let's check it out. What happened here? Let's see if I can get some intel from the cards. Hope you're all doing well today. It's beautiful. I will be doing for those of you who asked, I will be doing a beach reading soon. Very soon. It is July. It's that time of the year. Waiting for a good hot day for it. So anyways, here we go. General situation there. Six of Pentacles reversed. Ooh, I see some bribery going on here. I'm asking why, um, what's his name again? Karl Larsen. I'm bad with names. It's tough to remember. Why is Karl Larsen being with Thomas Markle? Why is he suddenly buddying up to him making videos? And I get Six of Coins reversed, which is money underhanded being paid. Oh, and Two of Cups reversed. So he was there to cover the separation. I think he was paid off secretively, and he was there to cover the other side of the separation of him and his daughter, because, of course, that's a huge story. And he's a celebrity photographer, right? And he knows that making videos with Thomas will bring him money and attention, which is what he wants in his business. So, yeah, but I see some, he was there obviously to make money for himself. At the bottom of it all, I have Knight of Cups reversed, which can be seen as being dangerous with the poison, attacking secretively. It can be that, being dishonest and manipulative here, but I got a Knight of cups reversed here, trying to act like he's Mr. Nice Guy when in reality he's there not being so nice. He's just there for his own selfish motivations or because he's paid off. Let's see what the basis of the situation. Seven of Wands reversed. He was there to stress out Thomas Markle. He knew that putting up all these videos and bringing up all this drama and Thomas trying to defend himself, he wanted Thomas to be overwhelmed by the media attention and the attacks. He knew this would become viral, and of course it did. It became very prominent, these videos, right? They became a big story. They were a huge story at the time. Yeah, so he was definitely there, but he wanted to overwhelm Thomas Markle and stress him out and get him saying things. Now, you see Karl Larsen put out some articles saying, "Oh, I had to edit out so much of what Thomas Markle said. Oh, he has no filter. Oh my virgin ears," right? That's what he was there for. He was there to get Thomas Markle's filter off and get him overwhelmed and get him reacting emotionally and saying nasty things so that I think possibly so that it could be used against him with Meghan and Harry. So Meghan and Harry could play the victim and say, "Look at big bad Thomas Markle. He's on YouTube with those single purpose hate accounts." And Christopher Boozy said he's tied in with them and they're all working with the British media just to attack little Meggie Weggie, poor little Meggie Weggie, crying on the sofa. What did Twitter say today? Right. So this was, I think, was part of it. That was he was there to stress out Thomas Markle, overwhelm him with all these video interviews, and to get him saying something that would bring more money to the vision of him and Megan, and Thomas, and yeah, him and Megan and Doria and Harry. So let me see what inspired him to make these videos. Ten of Cups reversed. So I always often say, I always see this as the royal family card and the community and whatnot in reverse. So now we do know that Karl Larsen was trying to get in on the Jubilee. This could also be a Jubilee card. The royal family celebrating. It was a huge celebration for the Queen. And I think secretively, I could take reverse as secretively, he wanted to get in on that Jubilee and I think probably we'll see if it was because of Meghan and Doria or not, or if he just wanted to do it for himself to get some good pictures. Because you can imagine as a photographer, getting on the inside track of a Jubilee would be a great moneymaker. You got to put yourself in the mind of a celebrity photographer, right? Say, well, yeah, getting the inside pictures of a Jubilee would be huge. Seller for him, he'd make a lot of money. Because, Thomas Markle would have the inside track to the Queen and Charles and whatnot, William. So what was back to Karl Larsen and his videos? Remarkable friendship. What a name. Remarkable friendship. You've known each other 2 seconds. You're a celebrity photographer. Like how he smoothed and manipulated Thomas Markle with that. I'm your friend. And this again is like an elder abuse, right? Because it's easy. I see that you see this all the time. These con artists, these criminals, these scammers. And I'm not saying that about Karl Larsen, but there are people like that who scam older people and how do they do it? They pretend to be their friend. Oh, we have a remarkable friendship. We're such good friends. Let's hang out and have some coffee together. You're so interesting. So he sidled up to him, deceptively to manipulate him. So I do kind of get that vibe, up from him. Obviously, they're not good friends, but he pretended to be, and Thomas Markle's elderly, so he's easy to take advantage of. And we got to keep that in mind. He's 77 years old, in poor health. Their guards are down, and they're easy to take advantage of, and that's why you got to keep an eye on that. So I do get that sleazy, slimy vibe here. So what was he expecting? Karl Larsen making these videos. Ace of coins reverse. So I take this as future money. This could be like in the future, getting some good pictures to make some good money, new opportunities. I mean, obviously he's not working for um, Jeffrey Rayner anymore, so he needs money. He needs a new break. He needs a new stream of income. So money is and new opportunities. And again, that Jubilee would have been a huge opportunity for him. So money, 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 coins, coins, cups, cups. Yeah, looking for the money, looking for that great video that would go viral and make him lots of money. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's all about money for him. That's what he does. So what did he not want? What was he trying to avoid or not want with Thomas Markle? Hermit. So yeah, he was not there to make Thomas Markle look good, look like an old wise man, look like, putting him in a positive light there. I mean, Thomas Markle was a hermit basically. He has been, he's retired, and he just wants to live a quiet life and he's not bothering anyone. I mean, let's remember that Meghan and Harry pushed all of this on him, right? Thomas Markle was not looking to be a celebrity. He was not looking for attention, but it was thrust upon him, and he's been the victim of it ever since. Yeah, so I see the hermit upright as seeing someone as a positive, sort of recluse type of man, which now he's a recluse, but all his life he worked in Hollywood as a director of lighting. Okay, so it's not like people try to portray him as some misfit. It's like, hello, he was what was it, Emmy Award winning lighting director. So, and of course, he's holding a light there. There's the light, the successful. I mean, everything Meghan has and what led her to Harry is because of Thomas Markle and his success as, look, he's holding the light. The lighting director here, the Emmy Award-winning lighting director, Thomas Markle. So, this is what Karl Larsen did not want. He did not want people to look up to and respect and admire the fact that Thomas Markle is a success. I mean, Thomas Markle is he came from nothing and he became a top lighting director on the biggest hit show in the 1980s, which was huge. I mean, back then, before the internet, to be on a hit TV show in Hollywood like Married with Children, that's huge. That was like top of the line in Hollywood. I mean, Thomas Markle reached the top with his lighting director skills. But Karl Larsen did not want to portray that. He didn't want to make him look good, didn't want to showcase his accomplishments. He just wanted to overwhelm this elderly man, pretending to be his friend, and overwhelm him and get him riled up and get him saying things that would be a juicy soundbite and go viral. So he had no respect. I don't believe Karl Larsen has any respect for Thomas Markle. I think he didn't want to make him look good. What was he trying to do? Well, besides make money, what was he trying to do? Wheel of Fortune. Yes. So a major arcana, again, these are both major arcanas. So he had very high expectations that doing this would turn things around for him and, bring out some positive new developments like the Jubilee and other things. So he had very high expectations that making these videos would I think Karl Larsen was struggling, right? Because he was fired from Jeffrey Raynor's. He tried to sue and he lost, I believe. So he has nothing going for him except Meghan and Harry, apparently, because he recently took pictures of Meghan. Meghan must have called him. So he was hoping that doing these videos with Thomas Markle would turn his life around, give him much more opportunities, put him on the map. Money, money, money. And, of course, he wanted fame. He wanted to get some of that fame, some of that shine. But really, money, I think, is the main motivator for him. He's not like Megan looking for attention all the time. He just wants, to boost his career. He's 53 years old. He's not getting any younger, and he's looking to get lucky. Wheel of Fortune's a luck card, something he didn't know, so he didn't really know what to expect because this is kind of like whatever happens, but something good. Like he was hoping some really good big deals and opportunities like the Jubilee and other things. I mean, I'm sure his imagination went wild with the what this could lead to. But of course, in order to do that, he had to make it controversial and whatnot. So, all right, so now we're going to look at Megan and Doria's influence. I saw an earlier reading that it was Doria really that made it thrust behind Karl Larsen getting together with Thomas Markle. But let's see, maybe it was Megan because Megan obviously called him to take pictures recently of him and Harry. So let's see, what was Megan's influence on Karl Larsen teaming up with making videos with Thomas Markle? Ooh, Fool reversed. Ooh, I get a Megan Harry vibe. Major Arcana. I'm getting that Megan and Harry. I asked about Megan, but I got the card I often see with Harry, the Fool. But of course, Megan controls Harry too. So yeah, I'm getting that Megan was a major influence here, secretively reversed. She's of course you're not going to find any connection there. Well, I mean, you will find connection because Carl is taking pictures of Megan now. Now we have a connection, but yeah, I see a major arcana. She was a major influence, impetus. She probably directed Karl Larsen to go make these videos with Thomas Markle. How about Doria? What was Doria's influence on this? Ooh, Five of Cups reversed, minor arcana. So Doria wasn't happy about it. I mean, I think it does upset Doria what's happening to her husband and watching it unfold, and she's an unhappy person as well. I don't think she's happy with anything. I don't think she's happy. Period. Never looks happy. Uh, I wouldn't be happy either if I had to be trailing around Meghan and Harry all day. Can you imagine? I mean, I don't envy her position. But I see Meghan's the major arcana here, so I do see it's more of a Meghan influence. I think Doria, this could mean that Doria did want Thomas Markle to suffer some more and, make him upset. Because it kind of, if you look at these cars, there's somebody crying here, and it looks like there's a big fire in the background, things exploding. So I think she was hoping that this would explode for Thomas Markle, like this would, um, you know, be the end of it. I don't think she's happy with Thomas Markle at all, obviously. So, but Megan was the main influence. Megan's in charge here, the Leo. So for sure, she's the main reason from this reading that Karl Larsen teamed up and try to overwhelm her dad and try to get and paid him off, get him to make money here, and she's still paying him off, calling him, and also trying to get to the royal family because it's Megan who's interested in knowing the inside details of the Jubilee and the royal family, and she thought Karl Larsen would be able to tag on to her father to do that, right? Because at the time, Megan would have thought that her father was going to the Jubilee, right? She was very worried about that. I think Gloria was also worried about that. They were both worried about the fact that Thomas Markle would be going to the Jubilee. And Megan did not want to be confronted by her dad. It worried her tremendously, and Harry as well. So they were all concerned that Thomas Markle was going to go to the Jubilee and they would be forced to face off with him and with other people there. So yes, yes, Megan definitely got him, hired Carl Larsen for this. And I don't think Megan wanted him to go. So. So what did Carl Larsen do after Thomas Markle had the stroke besides run to he reported right back to Megan. It's like, Megan, I did it. I did it. We did it now. Give me my money. Give me my money. Give me my money. Mission accomplished. I stressed him out. I stressed him out and he had a stroke. Uh-huh. Stressed him out. He had a stroke. Now, the interesting thing, now I'm not saying this definitely happened, but if you look at these two cards, with the six of coins is like somebody, of course this is reversed, right? They're both reversed. So you've got the laws of justice here reversed, which can indicate criminality, and you've got someone here who's like putting coins into something, right? And you see the hands down here. So it's like he's dropping coins down to somebody. Now, are these coins? Are these medicines? Are these poisons being dropped down or put in somebody's drink? Just saying. This could be an indication of the reason Carl Larsen was there to put a little something something in the water here, something illegal, something, and then stressing him out with all the comments, the videos. If you make a video on YouTube, you're gonna get all these comments and nasty comments and et cetera, be accused of this and that. So I think there was a dual purpose here. I think that Megan and Doria and Harry, what it looks like to me is and this also indicates to me a secretive attack. I mean, you've got a knight here again with a cup. Here, Thomas, drink this. So I'm getting multiple indications of, possible attack here. This is like being attacked, right? Um, yeah. But I don't think that Carl Larsen hates Thomas Markle. I think Megan and Harry and Doria do, right? So Carl Larsen went back to Megan, and of course he also went to the media. This is a media card. He went to Us Magazine and TMZ and wherever else he went, publishing his picture of Thomas Markle after the stroke. And in the long term, and he had huge. Carl Larsen felt like this was going to put him on the map, and it did. It did. Making videos, remarkable friendship. What a name. Remarkable friendship. Yeah. If you think that's a remarkable, I guess because it has Markle in it, always playing with the words, Markle, sparkle, remarkable. Okay, I see it now. It's kind of clever. But friendship, really? Friendship? I don't know about that. I don't think so. So Megan was very happy. And the long-term Knight of Wands, again with a knight with an attack in the media. So now we see, okay, so initially after the stroke happened, Carl Larsen comes out and says, "Oh yeah, he couldn't talk and he went to the hospital and so he wasn't very overly sympathetic, but he was giving some details. He wasn't attacking him. But now, 'cause this is going on into the future, long term, after reporting back to Meghan and making Meghan happy that he had a stroke, Karl Larsen is now in the media saying, "Oh, you wouldn't believe the things that Thomas Markle said. Nasty Thomas Markle said this. I had to edit every video. You wouldn't believe." Again, Karl Larsen saying, "My virgin ears. You wouldn't believe what Thomas Markle said, but I happen to have video of it. I'm gonna clip it together, and maybe if for those who want to follow him and pay for it, will be able to watch it or something." So he's going to continue attacking. Now going forward, he's attacking. He's on Meghan's side now. He's taking pictures of Meghan and Harry like he recently did. So now he's showing his true colors. He's a warrior, fighter, whatever you want to call him, hitman for Meghan and Doria, mainly Meghan and Harry. And he's now attacking Thomas Markle, someone who he had a remarkable friendship with a year ago. He's now attacking Thomas Markle, which is only going to stress him out even more, and supporting Megan and taking pictures of Megan, and Megan so she can smile like a her rictus grin and whatnot. So yeah, so I do think that Carl Larson did have something to do with that stroke and causing it. I think that, but but he's just a hitman. He's working for Megan. I mean, this is what do you call it? Rico conspiracy. It's like, yeah, go to the top. Who ordered the hit? That's the real guilty person. I think we all know who ordered this hit from what I see in the cards. Yeah, Queen of Wands, Megain. Yeah, and her hubby there, big old delusional fool Harry, also very much behind all this. Two of them are criminals. They're involved with globalist criminals, and I think nothing. Megan just wants her father dead. I mean, I get that again and again. So Carl Larson, night and night, was there to attack, potentially poison, and make money, and possibly get in the Jubilee, which he didn't. He lost that opportunity. That was his one opportunity. He was hoping to get into that Jubilee. That would have been, life changing for him and his career, but didn't happen. Instead, Thomas Markle had the stroke and made Meghan happy, and now he's going to now all Carl Larson has is a little bit of video edited that was edited out. He claims he edited it out because he couldn't. You wouldn't believe what Thomas said, but he edited it out so he could use it in the future to attack Thomas Markle and to make his own YouTube channel and try to make it a hit and make money from that. It's all about the money with Carl Larson for sure. The Ace of Coins and the Knight of Wands, fighting in the media, fighting on YouTube, fighting whatever with pictures and making money from it, trying to make as much money as possible. It's all he's about. That's his job. That's what he's doing. But he looks like he's doing more than just taking pictures. I think Megan and her criminal gang, in my opinion, are trying to kill her father. I think she wants her father gone. I really do. So she can do her left eye tear like she did for the Queen, the Queen's funeral. You saw how cold and unemotional Megan was at that funeral. And it's going to be just the same with her dad. She's going to go out there and do the left tear, one tear left eye for her dad. I mean, she's really heartless, man. Her and her mother, man. They just can't wait for Thomas Markle to be taken off the planet. They can't wait. Yeah. I think Carl Larson, from the looks of this, Carl Larson. But again, I don't think Carl Larson is necessarily a killer, but I do think that for the money and for the potential of going to the Jubilee and the fame for his career, he would do it to make Meghan happy, Meghan and her goon squad behind her. And don't forget, Harry and Meghan have George Soros, Aspen Institute, Bill Gates. I mean, they've got, you do what they tell you if you want to, So there's a lot of pressure there to get involved in this and to try to do this. So, and I do think he has something to do with that. Just saying. All right, so that is what I see. So I hope you enjoyed this. If so, please like and subscribe. Thank you all for being here, and I hope you all have a wonderful day. Take care, everyone. Bye bye.